Tyler, a champ as well here at Lower Trestles. It really felt like a World Champions event, from Steph Gilmore's win to Tyler Wright's win and also Carissa Moore's win, right in the middle of those three world champions.
100%. And as you were saying, in 2014 when Steph won here, 19.5, I mean, you're flirting with perfection right there. And one thing that I will say about Steph at this particular location, she averages a third place result, which is outstanding. I mean, you're almost making the final when you're doing that. But I just feel like today with these kind of conditions, Johanne's going to have a hard match out there. I'm interested to see what kind of decision they make here. Obviously, it's the first match of the day, too.
Steph now just wants to get some room to get things started. The opening ride of the Rip Curl WSL Finals goes to the 7-time world champ. She'll slide out on her second turn. But now priority is with Johanne Defay, so she'll be happy about how aggressive she's been at the start. Quickly pulling the trigger on this wave. Defay having to feel her way back into the pocket. A lot of white water on the face from the previous set. She'll just sneak in a quick snap and step off. So things with a slow start here in match number 1.
A lot of power in those kind of waves out there, Joe, and Trestles is matching it right now.
Certainly is. So I love, Mitch, that you picked out the positioning and the strategy for Johanne Defay.
And Italo as well. It's a really big ask, and so today's just going to be a historic day all around. I think crowning both men and women's titles in the same condition on the same day is just brilliant. I'm so excited for it.
Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, Tyler.
Will do.
Always great to hear from Tyler Wright. Thank you so much, Kaipo. And during that interview with the 2-time world champ, Defay did utilize the lowers left
for the French surfer, not only because her backhand usually tends to be her best strength, but also because there isn't really a decent score on the board yet. And Joe, there are no restarts today. So 35 minutes seems like a lot of time, but it goes by very quickly.
Another look at the left here. What's the major difference between the right and the left here at Lower Trestles?
The first section tends to stand up a lot better. And as we see there, just a beautiful opening turn from Johanne. This midsection is very difficult to serve. Navigates it well there, though.
Feeling of a win back in 2006, and he won a national title. Gilmore's turn. Patiently waiting for the right. Wraps that first cutback. Gets some speed down the line, and another disconnected maneuver off the top. 2 falls for Gilmore on her first 2 waves.
It tends to stand things up a little bit quicker than you'd expect, and for Steph, she hadn't really surfed these kind of conditions during your morning free surf so far. And here in competition, I mean, the first turn's beautiful. A little bit of a 2-time carve right there. And then the second one just goes a little bit too big. See how the wave stood up quicker than she thought? It's that south wind right now that we have early this morning. It's not even that strong. But we do have an increasing swell throughout the day, so I do think that a lot of these waves are going to have a lot more energy in that midsection.
3-0. The different locations around the world, from quarterfinals in Honolulu Bay to Huntington Beach and also at Bells. So Defay trying to turn things around. Heading left again. Two casual snaps on the open face. It didn't really give her a solid lip. So she'll just fill in the gaps with some backside snaps here. A little more power down the end of this wave, and she will clean that one up with a backhand float to finish. Defay improving on a 2.5.
Yeah, and I enjoyed how she stuck with it too. Didn't kick out midway. It was better those 2 scores and net pressure to your opponent. As we see, that first section, Joe, didn't stand up as well as her first wave on the 5, 6, 7. Did well here, though. This midsection just flattens out completely. Put that rail in the water. And then I love how she read this end section right here. Gains a little bit of speed, then wraps it right there. And then this finishing turn was just beautiful for how the section was. So she got the 5, 6, 7. I feel like this is going to be underneath that, but still a solid start for the French surfer.
Just nice pace and tempo. You can tell all those years growing up on Reunion Island, she was always going to be dangerous when she had an opportunity on her backhand to perform.
Yeah, and growing up in that area too, you grew up with some excellent surfers, a lot of World Pro Junior champions from that area too, and Johanne Defay has an opportunity here to clinch the first World Championship.
We go back to the split peak. Mitch, Steph going right.
Yeah, and this one a smaller wave too, not a set wave, and unfortunately for...
Let's go moment. You could all vote for it on WSL Instagram later on today. Johanne Defay, split peak with Stephanie Gilmore, sticking to her backhand. Nice drawn out bottom turns. It's just Defay. Steph just kicked out of the right. There's the snap and incomplete on the backhand of Johanne Defay. 15 minutes on the clock.
Try to catch something better than that. And Johanne, once again, I think her mentality, Joe, is what's gotten her so far in her career so far. Because if you look at it competitively, that was a great and smart move. Recognized that Steph was going right, didn't have much potential. There's a good chance she could get it today with these kind of conditions, and it seems like we got a great set ahead of us, Joe.
10:25 to go. Hugging the left is Johanne Defay. Gilmore not interested in heading this direction, and it's been really paying off for Johanne. That score's not going to change her lead. 7-time world champ Stephanie Gilmore. Deep off the bottom. Nice, beautiful frontside wrap. Racetrack section late to the closeout. And another wave that just allows one maneuver, but her best turn so far.
Yeah, and I gotta say it though, she just looks off. And look at this, Joe, from the takeoff it looked great. Beautiful bottom turn into that carve, and I mean that's trademark Stephanie Gilmore right there, and just late to that section. Like, once she came out of this carve, as we see it in slow-mo, we can really appreciate the way she's able to read this second section. See how she had that one first pump afterwards and then wasn't able to get there in time to finish that closeout re-entry. And that would have been a decent score compared to what we have in the lineup right now.
And that's where Defay's found her top two scores, but now on her right. Fifth seed now capitalizing on a couple nice power hooks. Great speed. Drives off the bottom, front side hook complete. Challenging finishing section, but she crushes it. The right that Gilmore was hoping to be a part of. And Defay's rhythm with the lead and priority was perfect as we hit the 5-minute mark.
She recovered priority to get this wave in time. And look at that beautiful bottom turn on the first section. Got a little stuck on the top turn. I love how she traced that second turn though. Goes up into the lip right here for another one, and as you said, that last section was not easy to manage, and she did very well to just get into this wave and keep Steph off of it.
Such a nice read and a series of turns. Was there a certain part of the wave that you loved the most, or was it overall performance?
This midsection for sure. These two aggressive turns right here going up into the lip, and then obviously the finish is crucial as well for the score, but I just felt like that midsection, especially when it gets flat, is very difficult to manage, especially with speed. And as we said right there, got a little stuck on the first top turn, but look at the second turn. Just right up into the lip, on rail, with a lot of power.
Johanne Defay turns in a 6.5, harnessing all that power first on the left, now to the right. More waves on the way, and looks like Defay has found some space under priority. Just checking out that racetrack of a wall. About 3.5 to go. Gilmore now needs an 8.67. Here goes the 7-time world champ. She's been held to one maneuver on all of her waves so far. First turn, a nice front side wrap. Tough section to work with, and again, single maneuvers for Gilmore, still chasing a monster of a score. Momentum, and you know she's feeling that same way. You wonder where the pressure lies in a heat of this size and magnitude, where everyone's saying this could be a record-breaking event for Gilmore, and then Defay's kind of free to prove things on her own. Frontside car for Gilmore, 90. When you look at a win over Stephanie Gilmore, an event of this size, this is going to go up there with one of her greatest ever. Was wisely surfing the lowers left, identified how hard it was to surf the right, then found a glassy right to get her best score of a 6.5.
The biggest win of her career so far, Joe, and out of the 5 women that are in the draw right now, the only one that doesn't have a perfect 10 out of their CT career.
What a massive win for Johanne Defay, as she will be taking on Sally Fitzgibbons.